I'm back to do my June part 1 of my reading wrap up. So I'm back from filming and I'm very excited. The summer is going to be super interesting because I have 2 big trips planned. So I'm trying to get my life together before all those trips occur. One is not until August. But yeah, so let's do the stat stuff, which is, I'm such a stat person. Like, it honestly does not matter how many books you read, but for me, I just like keeping track of what I read, especially because I have this cool software made by Covers with Cassidy, so it makes my organization like a ton easier. So I have read, let me look up, I have read 7 things this month so far, which is actually pretty good. I had a pretty good reading month. The last week there's been a lot of like people in the hospital in my life, so it's been like a bit chaotic, and also the end of the month is just a bit busy. We had a lot of days off. I've been doing a lot of cleaning at my job, so a lot of it has been audiobook experiencing because I just had a bit more time to do that. And honestly, when I've been home, I've been so freaking exhausted. Just because I've been doing a lot of stuff. So the first book I finished was Castle on Their Bones by Laura Sebastian. This was for my 5-star read production. Oh, I found my tabs. I don't know. I liked it. I don't think this was the moment for me to read this book. I don't think I was in the mood to read like a really, really dense fantasy. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I think that the characters could have been a bit more unique in their voices. And I didn't feel that connected to any of the girls, which is a little bit sad because when I read the Three Dark Reigns series by Kendra Blake, like, I love that series so much because I thought the girls were so unique and so different. I do want to get book 2, but I really hate the cover, so I'm probably going to get the audiobook or the ebook and just read it that way. I think I have an e-arc of it as well. But I gave it 3 stars. Definitely was not a 5-star reproduction, but I have liked Laura Sebastian in the past, and I like the concept. There was just some elements that were a little bit lacking, so this was a 3-star read for me. And then the next book that I read was Borrow My Heart by Casey West. This I'm on a vlog tour for. Actually, I was on a blog tour last week. So I'll put the picture up here. And this book was just fun. It was like a kind of like a twist on fake dating. I really like Casey West. People say like she's okay. I just enjoy her. She's a fun author to me and she's like a quick read. I really loved her book last year, Places We've Never Been, and I like that one a lot. That one I gave 5 stars. This one I gave 4 stars. It was like an interesting take on fake dating. You find out, you follow this girl and it's only a one point of view story, which I sometimes struggle with, I'll be honest. But you follow this girl and she hears this guy getting the possibility of getting like catfished and she feels bad. So she decides to tell him, oh, I'm the girl you've been meeting with me online, and they have like a relationship and they kind of fake date, only he doesn't know that they're not that girl. So it's kind of an interesting take on fake dating. I enjoyed it. There was also like an animal shelter involved. There was also dogs involved. If you don't know, I got a puppy this past year, and whenever I see dogs, and there was a dog that they were trying to find a home for. It was just warm and fuzzy. There was also like a very, very big plot line with her mom and her dad and her sister. And I liked it. It says like book 1 in a series, so I would love if the side characters got books because they were also very, very fleshed out. But I gave this book 4 stars and I really liked it. So the next book I read was what I was so excited to get approved for an e-arc for, and that is Rain by Katherine McGee. This does not come out until August, I think, but this is the 4th and final book in the American Royal series, and oh my god, this was everything I asked for. Except for one thing, but I'll tolerate it because I still really love the book. So here's the cover. I'll show you guys the cover. If you don't know, this series is what if George Washington had been crowned king and not president, and how that would have occurred. And then throughout this whole series, you follow the first Queen of America, her point of view, because she's gonna get crowned eventually. You follow her younger sister, who is the second in line to the throne, which is Princess Samantha. You follow Princess Samantha and Prince Jefferson, because Sam and Jefferson are twins. Their best friend, Nina, who kind of gets caught up in this royal life, and I love Nina. She's like an outsider looking in. And then you follow Daphne, who has her claws into Jefferson and really wants to be a princess. And it is such a compelling read. The end of Rivals left off on like a massive cliffhanger. That was my first book of the year. That was a 5-star read for me as well. But this book was so well done. I just like this series so much. The only thing that would have made it better is getting a certain character's point of view for me. but that didn't happen. But I love these characters. I like flew through this e-arc. I read it in like a day. I read it, there was smoke storms in New York, so we all had to stay home, and I read that book that day and I just devoured it. I gave it 5 stars. I really need to go back and read the other Katharine McGee series that I haven't read, but I really did like this. I thought it was great. If you are looking for some royal drama, if you are on the Prince Harry train and just have read, there's a lot of conversations that I can see that are kind of like inspired by that, especially the relationship with the public and the relationship with the media. All the characters get their happily ever after in their own way, and I just really, really enjoyed it. If I had to choose a favorite character, I would definitely say my favorite has always been Jefferson. You don't get his point of view, but I really do like him. And my second favorite would be Nina. I really do like Nina. So that was a 5-star read. Very excited for you all to read it all. And I'm really excited to see what she's working on next, because I'll definitely check it out. And then the next book that I picked up was an audiobook, and it is Rotten to the Core by T.E. Kinsey. I will add a photo here. Listening to this cozy mystery series like all year. I just picked it up on Meg with the Books Rack, and I've really loved it. I think I'm like past her because they're really, really quick listens, and when I'm cleaning I can kind of follow. But you basically follow these two characters. There's a lady, an older lady, and her lady's maid, and they have been, you know, in like involved in spies and espionage their life. So they move to this small town and hope to like take it easy, and they get involved in all these crimes. And this one takes place at an apple orchard. It was super fun. I gave it 4 stars. All of these books get 4 stars. They're super fun reads, and I only have one more book left, so I'm probably gonna finish it in the next 2 weeks when I'm either traveling or when I'm cleaning. But yeah, definitely like it. I would definitely recommend if you're looking for another cozy mystery series that has Regency romance vibes, I'd pick it up. And an older main character. People always ask for that. And then the next book I picked up was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and I really did like this book. Again, it was great. I actually listened to half of it. I listened to most of it, I would say. And then my friend, Sarah, had an extra copy, so she gave this to me just so I could have it on my shelves because she knows I like the series. But yeah, I really like this book. So this book you follow, this is also the sequel to Part of Your World. This follows Brianna, who was the main Alexis's best friend. She's a doctor, and she is a little bit persnickety. Her brother desperately needs a kidneys transplant, and then our other thing is Dr. Jacob Maddox, and he becomes that kidney donor. But they have like a virtual, like a letter writing relationship for like the first like 100 pages of this book, and then he winds up becoming the kidney donor. And there's a lot of anxiety rep. There's also a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder rep here, and I really did like it. It was a very quick read. And I just love both characters. I'm such a sucker for books that have both point of views because I think you get both characters' experiences, and their experiences are so different. And I think it also talks about the kidney issues and how that affects someone's life, how being, you know, a organ donor, how that affects your life. And I just really loved it. It was solid anxiety rep, and I don't have anxiety typically, but I just really enjoyed it. There was also an animal in here. It wasn't a small town story. However, his family I loved. I would love to see someone else in this book get another book, because again, she really fleshes them out. We got to see Alexis again from book 1, and I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars. I was really, really happy with it. So I think the next book was more of a wrong place, wrong time kind of situation, because on Meg's in a Books and Riley Marie, I picked up The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, and I read it. I think everyone and their mother told me not to read it, and they told me to pick up the audiobook, and I just did not listen because I was concerned because there was only one narrator. And if I read a book that has like different point of views, and I read a book that has like footnotes in here, I really like it to be full cast, and it just wasn't. But as I was listening to it at the end, because I really was struggling, I think I should have listened to it. So I think for the next couple months, I'm probably going to listen to them. I'm going to wait for an Audible sale. However, I did like it. I gave it 3.75 stars. I'd round it up to 4 just because I think it was more of a me issue. But basically, this takes a lot of like literary characters, like the daughter of Jekyll and Hyde, the other daughter of Jekyll and Hyde. It takes, you know, who does it take? It takes a lot of Beatrice Vespasini, Catherine Moreau, and Justin Frankenstein, Sherlock Holmes, and Watson, and kind of makes a murder mystery element to them. And then you have other characters sort of interjecting as the story is told. And I liked it. There's definitely a murder mystery that's kind of loosely inspired by Jack the Ripper at the heart of this, and I did like it. I definitely want to get book 2 and 3 and kind of listen to it in like the next couple of months because I think I would like it a little bit better. But I did enjoy this one. I did enjoy it. It wasn't my favorite, but I did enjoy it. So, and then the last book that I read, officially read for this time period, was Fractured Sky by Catherine Cowles. This is the final book in the Tattered and Torn series, and oh my goodness, 5 stars. Such a good read. I love this series. I really need to go back and finish her Broken series because I have 2 books left of that, but I just loved it. I really, really did. Here's a photo. If you have not read Catherine Cowles, she writes romantic suspense, and I have a soft spot for romantic suspense because I've said it before and I'll say it again. I need a bit more in my romance. I need something else. Like I need a mystery. I need it to be set in a fantasy world. I need higher stakes for a romance book than it's just romance. I am not an HEA girl. I am not a romance girl. I like elements of romance, but I need to have another plot element to keep me captivated or I just won't read it. So she does a really good balance. I will admit sometimes her heroes don't always work for me because they're a little bit overprotective, and every person in the Tattered and Torn series is overprotective. But I will attach a photo and then we'll chat about it. So this is the last book in the Tattered and Torn series, and every book follows basically a sibling in this family or like a side character in this little world. The book starts off with Everly, and her dad winds up kidnapping Shiloh in this book, and Everly in the first book kind of saves her. And ever since then, there's been a lot of animosity between these 2 families. So this is actually Shiloh's book. This is the book, the girl that got kidnapped. And then there's another gentleman in this book that they kind of owns the animal sanctuary, and they kind of get close. It was great. I really, really liked it. There's also a cult at the heart of this whole story. And this book, I feel like, really captured everything. You got to see all of the characters again. And my favorite story element in like contemporary or any stories is like found family developing. And that happened in this book. There was a found family that was created, and oh my God, I loved it. So I need to go back. I need to go read Whispers of You, which is the companion book, because you meet Holt in this book. He's like a security person and you see him at the tail end, and he has a book coming up. And I heard that won a second chance, which I'm all here for. So I wound up reading 7 things. If I had to pick my favorite, I would definitely say Yours Truly and Rain and Fracture the Sky. If I had to pick a disappointment, I would probably say Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter and Castle in Their Bones. But I still had a really good reading month, and I hope the second half is even better. So let me know in the comments what you're currently reading, what's a new favorite for you. I would definitely say Rain is my favorite, but if I physical books I'm looking at, definitely Yours Truly. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you're currently reading, any books you've loved in June. I would love to know, and I'll talk to you guys soon for my next video. Bye!